Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Campus Care Ed Talks. Ed Talks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. Our topic for the day is project based learning and how can project based learning be beneficial for students. And to express her viewpoints on the same, we have with us Miss Anubha Srivastava, ma'am, principal of Delhi International School Edge, Dwarka, New Delhi. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, Mehak. Thank you so much, and namaskar to all the audience who are here with us today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out your time. It's an honor to have you on board with us.
Pleasure discussing the educational needs with the like-minded people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Anuba, ma'am, to start off with project-based learning and how is this beneficial for the students, ma'am? So, what is project-based learning, ma'am? Would you please make us understand when we are talking about the benefits of it in the learning process, ma'am?
Project-based learning talks about getting engaged in a real-life problem wherein the student ponder upon, understand, work on the problem, research on the problem, and come up with an applicable solution to the problem. And this entire project spans over a considerable period of time. The idea is that when the children are getting engaged in understanding the problem and coming up with authentic, workable solutions, in this process, they are learning the real life situations, they are donning on their critical thinking hats, and they are able to put their own inputs. It's a remarkable shift from a teacher centric to a student centric way of learning.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, moving forward, project-based learning, how is this learning helpful in the, how is this helping the educators worldwide? How is it beneficial for the educators itself, ma'am?
See, we've seen a shift in trend and the interconnections between the student teacher relationship. There was a period which, to a large extent, is existing till date as well, where the society has been shrinking into self. We are more glued on to the plethora of information that is available at the click of a mouse. And there is a significant increase in the children not realizing the significance of their mentors, their gurus, and their teachers because all the information is available. So that was a big question before the educators. Another concern was the leaps and bounds of development that have happened have increased the pace of learning for all. And because of this, the gap between generations have increased. The children belong to the future. So this was also leading to gaps between the teachers and the students. Project-based learning brought in the advantage of student getting engaged intrinsically rather than being driven by the teacher. When we are doing a project is never done in isolation. You do not study a particular subject, you do not study a particular region or a country or a setup, because the entire world is a very complex interwoven network. So when the children are getting engaged, the teachers as support system are also getting engaged in understanding the problem. They are interconnected with different regions of their country and beyond their country also across the globe, and the global connections definitely have widened. We all have witnessed it in past couple of years. So it increases the collaboration, it increases the intercultural relationships, it increases the student teacher relationships. And without doubt, uh, when we expand our understanding, the confidence for both students and teachers improve. The memory retention, the grades,
Yeah.
the learning, all these things are improving through project based learning.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, ma'am, this project-based learning, how is this is it more effective than the traditional way of teaching, and how is this more effective than that, ma'am?
To understand this, we need to know what is traditional way of teaching and what are we defining as a project based learning. Is it something new? Is it something unconventional? If you go down the pages of history, uh, the project based learning or understanding the real life challenges is something which was taught by Aristotle, Socrates, Confucius. So it is nothing new. If you study the educational history, even John Devney, dating back to the 18th century, has talked about activity based learning, learning by doing, in his book, My Pedagogical Creed. Maria Montessori also is known to be talking about learning by doing. So I will differ here that what we say as traditional way of teaching, is it actually traditional?
Yeah.
It is fairly and relatively a new way where there was a shift in teaching methodology from research based and learning by doing to teacher centric learning. And the teacher centric learning was confined to a set of textbook, was confined to a set of assessment methods, which were reflecting in the form of grades, in the form of pen and paper assessments. So it's a 360-degree turn back to what we were doing. We are learning from the nature, from the environment, from the things around us, from the people around us, from the problems around us. This will definitely be more effective than the textbook oriented learning, because textbook oriented learning is not going to engage the children as much as the real life applicability is, especially because with a little knowledge, I will not say children, anyone with a little knowledge, with a little understanding would try to be channelizing their energies. They would want to channelize their energies to express, to test, to experiment what they know and to grow above it. So absorbing from the textbook will not be able to engage all the students. And when we talk of project based learning, it gives the advantage to the learners to go according to their own pace of learning, according to their own depth and width of understanding. So it addresses the aspect of multilingualism, multiple intelligence level, and hence it becomes all the more effective than the textbook based, pen and paper based learning methodology, which was teacher centric.
Absolutely. Lastly, ma'am, how can you guide us a few examples, a few ways that in which the educators can promote the project-based learning, ma'am?
The first thing that educators have to do to promote project based learning is they have to unlearn and they have to relearn. They have to unlearn the boundaries of textbook. They have to unlearn the system of predictable assessment methods. And they have to relearn thinking out of the box. They have to relearn the logical problem solving mindset. So we have to expand our horizons to pick up problems from around us. I'll just take one small example here. I was talking about sustainable development goals, addressing a bunch of student and teachers from my student council. And I said, let us think what we can do, because when we do model making in school, we generate a lot of trash.
Yeah.
We project a model and then the model has to go back to the recycling. So in the list of requirements where the student had mentioned thermocol sheet, I said thermocol is a big no-no in my school. So we need to think of something which can be reused, which can be recycled. I left it on them to decide what they have to do. Believe you me, it was a surprise to me when my teachers and my student, the mentor teacher, along with the group of students, they came up with the solution that, ma'am, why don't we do edible models? It has been 1 year. So many children have adopted to edible models. They make edible models out of things that they can eat. It can be candies, it can be bread, Nutella butter. Sometimes they are baking specific shapes according to the requirement of the model. And then they showcase the model, they identify, they label it, and they consume it in totality, producing zero waste. So that is the beauty of project based learning. When you give them problems, they come up with solutions. And the teachers have to read a lot, see what is happening around them, be aware of the news, because the problems are picked from the surroundings, from the immediate happening around them. They have to collaborate a lot with each other, exchange their challenges and the identified areas that they need to work with. And there's nothing that can stop them. Our Gurukul has been a witness to this.
Wow, ma'am, that's very beautiful. Thank you so much, Anubha ma'am, for being here today and guiding us a lot and sharing your viewpoints on project-based learning and how is it beneficial for the students, ma'am.
Thank you, Mehak. Pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye.